Welcome back. Anthony Pope sitting in for Joe Piscopo. Our next guest is a dear friend, but an attorney of an incredible note. He has represented everyone in the entertainment business and business in general, and now he's representing the former president of the United States as well in an upcoming trial in March, I believe, until 2024, and a dear friend, Joe Tacopina. Joe, thanks for coming on this morning.
Thanks for having me, Anthony. This is great.
You know, it's interesting. The president, when we first talked, you and I, about the indictment that's listed for trial in New York, there was only one. Now there are three more. So talk to the people about trying to get a fair jury that hasn't made conclusions about this man, whether they like him or don't like him. I mean, Joe, you've done so much in your career. There's no doubt. You've had every jury, you've had every type of case, but this is unique, and this has to just present obstacles that the other trials did not. Am I correct?
Oh my God, it's not even Anthony. It's not even close. You know how much I respect you as a trial lawyer, and I'll just say this because it's true. You're the lawyer I respect the most out of anyone I've ever tried a case against.
Well, thank you very much.
I said that to you in person. We started out as adversaries in a case.
That's right.
On the other sides of the fence. And, of course, our personalities, being what they are, went at each other a bit. And the first thing I realized in that case, there was co-defendants in that case, and you were representing one of them. The first thing I realized in that case was, I got to get this guy out of here. So we settled with you for 13 cents to get you out of the case. And then I went after the other group, and that worked out to be successful for us.
Yeah, exactly.
You're just a phenomenal lawyer, so you'll understand what I'm talking about here. We've never seen anything like this, Anthony. Not anything like it. Facts are sort of a sideshow here. The rule of law and the rules of evidence are sideshows here. They're not really front and center, which they are in 99% of our cases. Here it's about likes and dislikes, polarization, weaponization of the justice system. Do you like him? Do you hate him? Well, in New York, where we tried a case, it's amazing we beat the rape case. I got to tell you, because we had an anonymous jury that, mobsters get anonymous juries, but at least the lawyers get to know who the jurors are. Here, we had no idea who the jurors were, so they could have been posted on social media for 2 years. I hate this guy, and they're on our jury. We were looking at blank faces. New York is one of the cities that, is clear, hates Donald Trump. From a geographical perspective, it's one of his, weakest sort of polling states and
for
cities,
sure,
really,
for sure.
New York City. You have Washington, D.C., and then you have Atlanta. And those are where, again, the facts of those cases don't concern me as much as the jury pool, the makeup, the judges. Then, flip the switch to Palm Beach, the documents case, where you have a judge that was appointed by the president. You have a jury pool that generally is, stereotypically and based on voting, is friendly to him. So that's what's more important than the facts, which is crazy when you think about it.
Yeah,
and
it's scary.
I thought about this. He's been indicted 4 times in 6 months. Here's a great trivia question for you guys. What does John Dillinger, John Gotti, Pablo Escobar, El Chapo have in common? None of them have ever been indicted 4 times.
Is that right? Is that right?
No. I mean, so don't try and tell me, look, you can love him or you can hate him. But don't try and tell me that these are not politically motivated prosecutions, just based on the timing alone.
Yeah,
just based on the timing. There was no rush to bring any of these cases. All of a sudden, in a period of 5 months, 4 indictments.
Yeah, I mean, I was. Yeah, this is really something that has to be looked at by the average person and understood a little bit better, because everybody realizes it's never been done before. That's easy to determine. It's unprecedented. But how they've done it and how it's been maneuvered, and when you juxtapose that with how Biden's son has gotten away with so much, and how Biden himself, the president, has been accused of so many wrong things as the vice president, which are much more serious than anything that that President Trump has been accused of, and they keep trying to just avoid it and protect them. That's frightening to me, Joe. People talk about January 6th, and look, I do not in any way, shape, or form endorse that. It was wrong. It should have never happened. And you don't storm the Capitol, and you don't avoid or you don't try to prevent the lawful transfer of power. But what's happening with the Justice Department? If the FBI and the Justice Department are choosing who's going to be prosecuted based on any political aspects of their lives, that to me, January 6th pales in the face of that. Because that's really scary. Now you're talking about the very institutions that we respect and hold dear and know. And I've always said to juries, Joe, I'm sure you have, ladies and gentlemen, and this is years ago when I first started, I said there's two things that separate us from a third world country. One is the press and one is the jury system. Well, we don't have the press anymore, that's for sure. So the only thing we've had left is the jury system. But now the Justice Department, the FBI, people are taking positions or sides, hiding things, lying about things. My God, this is a scary time that we're living in.
Scary time. And, when you say the press, it's amazing. You compare the issues with Joe Biden and all that's going on with Joe Biden and what appears to be an obvious cash grab from that family. When the government of China or an oil company controlled by the Chinese government is sending the Biden family millions of dollars, you have to really wonder when Hunter Biden's on all these boards in foreign countries and President Biden's using fake email names to send email. I mean, please. I mean, that you and I, if we were prosecuting again, we could take that about a minute. But it seems like more than it's not being pursued, the media is so with an agenda that they don't even seem to be outraged by it. If that were Donald Trump, if cocaine were found in the White House when President Trump were president, what do you think would have happened? We'd still be reading about it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it just goes on and on and on. I mean, the double standard is so palatable, and that's what's horrible. Because you're right, you can't believe what you read anymore, Anthony. You just can't.
If you listen to the news, you're ill-informed. If you don't listen to the news, you're uninformed. I don't know. I don't know what to do anymore.
I'll go with uninformed. I'll go on.
Yeah, I think that's the better way to be at this point, because when you're ill-informed, I mean, it's just worse. But like you said, I mean, look, can you imagine Joe Biden's son, President Biden's son, being Donald Trump with one of his kids? They'd be in jail right now.
Oh.
They'd be absolutely imprisoned. There's no doubt in my mind. If the shoe was on the other foot, they'd be imprisoned. And how half of our country, maybe more than half of our country, is allowing this to happen and not looking at it for what it is. It's a threat to democracy that we have never seen before. And I applaud your efforts to represent the former president, because it's not easy. And for all those reasons, but you also have, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to applaud you. There's a lot of people you're going to walk into a restaurant or a store and they're going to want to shake your hand and take a picture with you. And then there's going to be a lot of people that are looking to throw food at you.
Exactly. So when I walk in, I have a sense of awareness now with me, Anthony, that I've really never employed in my life. I walk into a place and my eyes scan the room. Am I getting an A thrown at me or am I getting a selfie?
I know.
So it's real quick. You got to really take a hard look at that stuff.
Listen, Joe, I wanted to talk to you just briefly because your career, besides being, everything you've done in the law, your involvement with soccer in Europe. I've read a little bit about it. It's just extraordinary, and I'm starting to like soccer more and more. It's becoming much more popular in the United States. What got you to that point? Why soccer? What was it about it? Did you play it as a young man? What was the deal?
It was a labor of passion. I'm a baseball player. I was a state champion wrestler, and I was a ice hockey player. And I played ice hockey in college and after college. But soccer was more of a cultural thing. We grew up with an Italian-American family, immigrants. My parents were. So I learned sort of the appreciation of that sport, especially to Italians. I mean, it's like part of the fiber of the community.
Right.
And I went over there, and I went to a game there between my father's team, AS Roma, the team I was vice president for 4 years, and Lazio. And there was a passion that I'd never experienced in any sporting event in my life. And it was insane. The foundation of the stadium with 65,000 people in it was moving. And it was just something that I said, wow, I would love to be involved in this. Of course, I had enough money to buy the balls, the soccer balls, on the team. Right. But I put a group together, and we acquired. I was the first American inside Italian football, and it became, again, a labor of passion initially. Now, I've been now 15th year. They knighted me in Italy over this stuff, which is
did they really? Congratulations!
Yeah,
wow.
They knighted me in Italy because of my contribution to Italian football, which really goes to show you I'm the least meritorious knight in the history of knights. You get knighted over football, but that's how important it is in that country.
Yeah,
and it's something that it's a business. So there is a business element to it. And listen, we're Italians. Not everything in Italy is easy. There's a lot of red tape and a lot of rules that apply sometimes they don't. So it's not for the faint of heart, I will say that. But it's been a great run. And, I love it. It takes up sometimes too much of my time, which I have to sort of pull back on.
Right.
Something that's for sure was driven by passion. Let's put it that way. And, but I don't recommend, Anthony, to all your listeners out there, I don't recommend having 2 full-time jobs in 2 different continents. It is definitely a strain on your lifestyle.
Yeah, it sure is, Joe. It sure is. But, well, that's wonderful. Listen, it's becoming even bigger in America, so it's a fantastic sport. I enjoy watching it. But I appreciate you coming on, buddy. I know you got a lot on your plate, and I look forward to seeing you in person at some point when you get back. And let's
Absolutely,
do dinner.
brother.
And as always, brother, thanks so much, man. I appreciate it. Your insight has been great.
You're the best. Thanks, Anthony.
All right, buddy. Take care.